Hello, I am Reverend Irene Smith, and I'd like to welcome you to Generationally Speaking. Here at the table, we come and we discuss life issues, no matter what they might be. As we sit at the table with each generation, we all learn, we all grow, we all are inspired. Generationally Speaking.
Welcome back to the Jason Ford Podcast Show. We want to welcome you back live into the underground studio that we call the Sports Studio. We want to thank you, subscribe for watching this video that we're putting together. Do you guys see it? Do you feel it? You see what's coming? Do you hear it? It's coming. It's getting closer. It's almost here. Look up there. Football season's back. We won. Let's go. Thank you. We've waited. We've been on our P's and Q's. We've done all our chores. We've put away all the kids. If you have a significant other, you've done everything to satisfy them. You've gotten them out of the way. This is now your time, your Sundays, your Mondays, some Thursdays, even a little sprinkle of Fridays. They're back. Welcome back to football. Welcome back, everybody. We have a wonderful week one right now. And I don't know if about you guys, but I am so pumped to watch this week one game. There's been a lot, and I know you guys have been hearing a chatter going on with the Dallas Cowboys trading Micah Parsons. What is going on in Dallas? Let's just go over Texas and Dallas for the last, 9 months. First, you have them trading the favorite son, Luka Doncic, from the Dallas Mavericks to the LA Lakers. And it couldn't have been bad than that. It couldn't have been. There's nothing that could top that trade, especially out of that state, especially out of that town and state. No, they until Jerry Jones says, hey, Dallas Mavericks, hold my beer. And Jerry Jones trades Micah Parsons to the Packers. Now, what happened here? What caused this rift? Well, we probably will never know all the full details, but what we do know are these two things are contributing factors of this trade. Number one, there was a rift with Micah Parsons and his teammates between him and the podcast show, things he would say on the podcast show, it might have rubbed some of his teammates the wrong way. Then on Jerry Jones's part, Jerry Jones tries to negotiate a contract with Micah Parsons directly, which is against the CBA, collective bargaining agreement, of the NFL Players Union. So no owner, not the 49ers owner, not the Texas owner, can negotiate with a player about their contract. So even if a player is their own agent, they have to be registered, and there has to be a time and date set for them to do their actual negotiations. So you just can't negotiate with random players regardless, even if they're their own agent. But Micah had an agent. He had a very good agent. And for Jerry Jones, because Jerry Jones is one of those guys that we tried to remind him about business practices, he would gladly tell us how he spent the last 35 so odd years in business, and he doesn't have to be reminded by people like me and you to tell him how to do business. Well, guess what, Jerry? You can't talk to your players and negotiate. That's against the rules. That's a no-no. There should be a grievance filed by the NFLPA on Micah Parsons' behalf for that negotiation that even happened in the first place, because it shouldn't have happened. So you had two of these things going on in the situation. At some point, it all came to a head. Micah Parsons was giving his trading papers, and he was sent to Green Bay. So this, to me, was an interesting breakdown of a relationship, especially when you have someone who's so valuable to their pass rush. This deal, to me, if this was going to happen, good general managers would have made sure to trade Micah either before the draft, this last draft, or after this season to maximize what they could get in return in the trade. Because what you want is not just the replacement for Micah. You want to know if you can bring in 2 to 3 other players outside of Micah Parsons. And I think to negotiate that kind of a trade where you could have got more than 2 first rounds and a nose tackle is you do it before the draft. Maybe at that draft point in time, you get your 2 first rounds and maybe you get a second and third added into that mix, which would allow you to add some more pieces onto Micah this year. But hey, Jerry Jones knows more than you and I, so who am I to tell Jerry Jones how to be a good general manager? Guess I couldn't. I don't know how to do that. But that's one of the things that's going on in this whole cycle of turmoil between the Cowboys and Michael Parsons. And so Michael Parsons finds himself as a Green Bay Packer now. Just imagine Michael Parsons, a Green Bay Packer, now can solidify their chances of a Super Bowl run and deliver some to their defense, which is really needed in the pass rushing area, to actually go for and maybe cause some trouble in the NFC this year. Storyline. It's just something for us to monitor as we go forward. So when I'm picking this game right now, tonight, the Eagles versus the Cowboys, I'm looking at their pass rush like, you guys give me who's going to take Michael Parsons' place. If I wanted to bet on the Cowboys, give me a reason why I should. Would it be Dak Prescott? Would it be CeeDee Lamb? Would it be George Pickens? Is it only people on offense? Like, is there anybody on defense that can step up and actually give the Dallas Cowboys a pass rush when it's valuable on important third down situations? Because they will be tested today on third downs. And I don't know if they have an answer for the third down question. Can you get the Philadelphia offense off the field? Can you get that tush push away from their 2 to 3 yard comfortability and get them into a miserable 3rd and 4, 3rd and 5, 3rd and 6? And if you do get them into a 3rd and 4, 3rd and 5, 3rd and 6, can you get that pass rush from whoever you got on the roster right now to get that pass rush for? Now, I do think the Dallas Cowboys will be better in the run because they got a good nose tackle with Kenny Clark. But third downs is where you make your money in football. Third downs is where the good become the great become the Hall of Fame. That's the money down. Third down is where you become famous right there. Either you can pass rush, or you can make an important catch, or you can make an important throw, or you can make an important block, or whatever it is on third down, you are locked in. And right now, I don't know if the Cowboys have anyone on their front seven who is locked down enough to create a pass rush to make Jalen Hurts uncomfortable tonight to get rid of the ball, because that's what they're going to need. That Philadelphia offensive line is not playing around. They're good, and you got to make them uncomfortable. They have to be put in a predicament where they're not the bullies, they're the bully. And if you don't have your best pass rusher, which is now in Green Bay, good luck tonight. Good luck. Now, speaking of week 1 of the NFL, we got another game coming up on Friday. Guys, we have a Friday game. Now, this game will not be held in the United States. It will be held overseas. Well, now overseas will be held in Brazil, but you guys get the point. It will be a good game as well. I do think this will be the game we all should be watching. The Kansas City Chiefs versus the Los Angeles Chargers. You said, Jason, you think this is the game we all should be watching? Yes, this is why. Jim Harbaugh is now the coach of the Los Angeles Chargers. Me, as a San Francisco 49er fan, Jim Harbaugh was our coach when we started to get our act right. And he was the coach that really helped us start moving forward with getting our organization acting right and moving forward to a path of success. Now he's in with the LA Chargers, and he's doing the exact same thing he did with us, with them. Well, you have now, he's in the division with Patrick Mahomes, the Kansas City Chiefs. What are you going to do, Jim? You gonna have to dethrone Patrick Mahomes, one of the best quarterbacks in the AFC, to win the AFC West. Can they do it? Well, I believe if they can win on Friday, if they can beat Patrick Mahomes in Brazil, I think they'll take a step forward with claiming the AFC West as their division. You still have the Broncos, of course, but I believe that as long as you can not go to sleep on the Raiders, you can make sure you understand that the Broncos will be a good defense, and you got to be willing to let everything fly once the waistline once you play Kansas City, because it's Patrick Mahomes. I believe the only team in that division right now that can stand up to the Kansas City Chiefs are the LA Chargers. I believe the LA Chargers have every piece on the puzzle to beat the Kansas City Chiefs, and not only beat them, they can beat them with taking the division this year, and they can beat them if they see them in the playoffs. But they have to stay healthy, and that's the one thing about the Chargers that I do not trust. Can they stay healthy for a full NFL season? Well, I have them staying healthy Friday, but I can't guarantee an NFL season. So I do see them beating the Kansas City Chiefs on this Friday. But when we go forward, are they going to be able to stay healthy? I don't know, because if they're not healthy and if they do win Friday, Kansas City Chiefs will be coming back for their revenge. And if it's in Arrowhead, good luck. You got to stay healthy, Chargers. You got to stay healthy. So that's one word I'm going to leave for the Chargers. Stay healthy. And now let's go down to our slates for our first week of NFL action. And I'm going to be picking them for everyone. And I know you guys are going to make sure I hear if I'm wrong. And I want to make sure you guys hear if I'm right. Let me know, because I guarantee you, you're going to let me know if I'm wrong. So if I'm right, also let me know. So here we go. Week 1, Broncos versus the Falcons. This game is going to be very, very tight. Why? These are two division opponents. These two know each other. They know each other like the back of their hand. They know that they're going to see each other down the road. And they kind of probably figured that this matchup could be for the division down the road. So who do I have? I have the Bucks with a narrow victory. 7 points at most. I would say if you're betting a field goal, bet the field goal. 3 is probably a safe bet. Stay right there. And I want to make sure you understand that probably taking the 3 in the under and not the over is probably the safest bet. So I'm going to go with the Buccaneers over the Falcons. Bengals and Browns, also divisional rival, divisional game. Bengals know the Browns. Browns know the Bengals. But the Browns are the Browns. So who am I picking? The Bengals, because the Browns are the Browns. So as long as the Browns are in Cleveland and the Browns are called the Browns, I'm going to pick the other team that's going against them, against the Browns, because the Browns are always going to be the Browns. So next matchup, Dolphins versus Colts. This is an interesting matchup. Pretty low barrel teams right here. And I don't mean any disrespect, but I just don't see any of these two teams when it comes to the end of the season going to the postseason. Could be wrong. Dolphins, maybe. Colts, maybe. But if I had to pick between these two in the matchup, I'll pick the Dolphins slightly. And when I mean slightly, under 2 points. If you have a lot of games to watch, don't watch this one. This is one of those games where avoid this one at all costs. Next game, Panthers, Jaguars. Who you got? The battle of the expansion teams. Now, a lot of people don't know this, and I might be giving away my age, but these two teams were created as expansion teams when I was kind of young. It was Carolina Panthers, and they started off with Jake Delhomme, and then you had the Jacksonville Jaguars, and they started off with Mark Brunell, and Jacksonville was good, and they had Tom Coughlin as a head coach, and Carolina was just Carolina, and then all of a sudden Carolina got Cam Newton, and then it's just been kind of crazy from that point. But they've never won anything. Carolina went to the Super Bowl twice, one with Jake Delhomme, one with Cam Newton, and both times they lost. Jacksonville, I think they went to a couple of playoff series. They lost also. So which one of these expansion teams are going to actually win their first Super Bowl first? If I was betting, I would say Carolina Panthers. But as we all know, Cam Newton's not coming through that door anytime soon. So guess what? I probably have to lean more toward Jacksonville Jaguars. So if I had to pick in this matchup right now, Panthers versus Jaguars, week 1, I'm going to go with the Jaguars. I'm going to get the Jaguars a 7-point victory. I like their weapons. I like the receiver. I'm not going to say the quarterback, but I like every other thing outside of the quarterback on offense, including their defense for the Jacksonville Jaguars. Carolina, I like their quarterback, but I still think he's still growing. Bryce is going to need a couple of more, I think, games to really feel like he stepped into his own. But I do think Bryce will have a good year this year. So Carolina, I got them losing by maybe a little bit more than 7. When I say a little bit more than 7, no more than 10. I think it got to be a 10-point game, somewhere around there. So I'm going to give the Jacksonville Jaguars a 10-point win over the North Carolina Panthers. That's my pick for that. Also, next, Raiders versus Patriots. Oh boy. Yeah. When the computer's like, ugh, then you know that kind of game it is. So let me try to make up something for you, the Raiders. The Raiders, all this history of Al, their owner and all the black and and all that. And then you have Patriots, Bill Belichick, and that's not going good. I don't know if you guys heard about the Bill Belichick news. North Carolina, not only are you losing as a head coach as the Tar Heels, you have a young girlfriend that seems to be stepping out of her place. It's a lot of chaos, old Bill. And I wish nothing but the best for old Bill. Maybe a little bit too much on your plate, Bill. But back to this matchup, I do believe that another one of those matchups, if you can avoid. So we got to pick them. We can't avoid it. We got to pick them. So Raiders versus Patriots, who do you got? Whew. I'm going to go with the Patriots under 3. It might not even be that. It could be one of those safety games, literally, where someone has a safety for 2 points and they win the game off the safety. I would bet the over on the safety. Bet the over. Cardinals versus the Saints. Also, this is a team in my division, the Arizona Cardinals, so I'm going to hope that they lose. So I'm not going to make that my official pick, because I know you guys will hold that against me. But as a team of the San Francisco 49ers, my official San Francisco pick would be that the Arizona Cardinals lose. Jay Ford, host of the Jay Ford podcast, says he's going to look at it a little bit thoroughly. And you know what? I don't like Jay Ford, the 49er fan, a little bit too close to the action. So I'm going to pick the Cardinals to beat the Saints. I think they just got a better team. I think the Saints are knocking on the road a first-round draft pick next year. They're one of my teams. Don't be shocked that you might see as the number 1 pick in the NFL draft 2026. So that's my outcome for the Saints. So I have the Saints taking the L. Steelers versus the Jets. So I know a lot of Steelers fans out there, and they would be very disappointed if I did not pick them over the Jets. So without getting into too much analyzation of this game, I just feel that the Pittsburgh Steelers are the Pittsburgh Steelers. I like Mike Tomlin, great head coach, and the Jets are the Jets. They'll find a way to jet. No matter what, they jet. They always jet. Even their fans know they jet. So I got the Pittsburgh Steelers over 7 points over the New York Jets. Okay, so I know a lot of you all going to want to hear this one because I got a lot of fans from this fan base also hitting me up. We have the Giants versus the Washington Commanders. This is going to be a game. Now, this is, if you have time to tune into this one. This is actually going to be a good game. I believe you got 2 up-and-coming teams. You have a division that they probably feel we can win. I feel like Washington feels like we can win the division. I feel like they're not afraid of Philadelphia. I feel like they probably want a little get back for Philadelphia from that playoff outing. So I do believe that the Washington Commanders will have a good team this year. I think the New York Giants also will have a stellar pass rush. I don't think they have a well put together team as of right now, but I do think they have a good front seven. I do think that they have a good wide receiver. And if one of their quarterbacks just can be a quarterback, they might have a chance to make some noise in the division. Unfortunately for this week 1, I do not have them making a lot of noise against the Washington Commanders. And so all for my Commander fans, I do got you guys winning week 1 versus the Giants. I have it a very close game though. I have this game a 3-point game, field goal at the end, 21-24, 14-17, one of those kind of games. It's going to make you uncomfortable at times. It's going to make you nervous, but I do think the Commanders can pull it out at the end. Now we have the Titans versus the Broncos. This also could be a good game. We don't know what the Titans are right now. I don't know what the Titans are. I know the Broncos have a good defense. I know Bo Nix seems to be a good quarterback. The Broncos, I think I know. I don't know the Tennessee Titans right now. So what do we know about the Titans? We know they got Cam Ward now. They have a young quarterback. He seems to be, gradually getting the offense from what we've seen in preseason. We didn't really see any, oh my God, moments from him that make us nervous or makes us scared. So I do think Cam can come in and surprise in week 1. Is that too much to ask for a rookie? And that's the question. So I do believe week 1 against someone like the Broncos that got a defense like that is a little bit much to ask for a victory in week 1. So I will go with the Broncos over the Titans. I got this one being semi-close, no more than 10 points. So I got the Broncos over the Titans. Lions and Packers, another rivalry game. This one right here will not be over week 1. This one will not probably end until the playoffs if both of these teams get there, because they don't like each other. They don't like each other. Packers don't like Detroit. The Detroit Lions don't like the Green Bay Packers. They hate cheese. So they don't want to deal with any of the cheese people. And the cheese people don't like the lion people. They don't like the cats. They're not cat people. So, the cheese people don't like the cat people. The cat people don't like the cheese people. That's basically how simple I can say it for you. And so who do I have winning this match? Well, some would say Detroit, right? Because of everything we saw last year. But we have to remember, the offensive coordinator, the defensive coordinator are now head coaches in different areas, different teams. They've lost important pieces within the coaching ranks. Now, does that matter when you have the personnel that you have? It might not. Well, we're going to see. But I believe that it could play a factor in this rivalry this season. We'll have to see as far as the season is concerned. But for week 1, do I think Detroit beats the Lions? I do think that Detroit beats the Lions in week 1 to take the first game of this rivalry. Do I think they can sweep them? No. Do I think the Packers could sweep Detroit? No. Do I think there will be any sweeps? Probably not. But I do think the Detroit Lions will take the first game in this rivalry. The games we have to look forward to is down the road when they meet again, when it's closer to the playoffs and those games start to matter for playoff positioning. That's when we'll see who's really who. But for this first week, for the first week of the NFL, I'm going Detroit over the Green Bay Packers. Texas versus the LA Rams. Now, once again, as a fan of the 49ers and LA Rams being a team in my division, the fan of me tells me that I must say the LA Rams must lose. Period. Now, me as Jay Ford, the podcast show host, has to step in and say, well, no. I think the Texans are a good team, and I think the Rams have some pieces. The question we have to ask ourselves, if we're all just being fair, is where's Matthew Stafford's back issue at? When you have back issues and you're 40, guess what? There ain't no issue. That's just life. That's not an issue you're going to get rid of, bro. Yeah, it's just to be a part of your life right there. So is Matthew Stafford going to make it a full season with herniated disc issues? I don't know. I wouldn't bet. I mean, good luck, but it's a lot to ask for. So just off that alone, I'm going to give the Texans the victory. I don't know if Matthew Stafford is going to stay healthy this whole season. And that's just me being realistically looking at this picture. Taking the fandom out of myself, looking at an older Matthew Stafford, someone that if you saw Matthew Stafford when he was a Detroit Lion, you know this guy played hurt. He got his bell rung plenty of times. We've seen Matthew Stafford get hurt before. This is not anything new to us. If you watch Detroit Lions football, you've seen Matthew Stafford get hurt at least one time. Now we're asking this same gentleman who's gotten hurt when he was young not to get hurt when he's older when he has a bad back. I just think that's a lot. That's a lot to ask for. So to me, I'm going to go with the Texans on this one. That's just a simple go-to. Another local team that I think the Commander fans love to go against because they like to measure themselves against this local team. The Baltimore Ravens versus the Buffalo Bills. Ladies and gentlemen, this could be an AFC championship. And I want to shout out my little nephew Chase for this one because he is an extreme Baltimore Raven fan. He right here is getting a matchup of what it looked like if my team was in the AFC championship. Because I do believe that the Buffalo Bills and the Baltimore Ravens could be the both teams representing the AFC in the AFC divisional championship game. This could be a thing. So I think we all need to just take note to this game because this game could be played later on in January. Like this game could be reran in January for a trip to the Super Bowl. Don't be shocked. So Ravens versus Bills. Who do I have? Man. Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen. Man. Who do you have? Who do you have? You know what? This is the part of the time I like. I bring in my man Wesley. Wesley, Baltimore, Buffalo. Who you got? Mama, Buffalo, Baltimore. So with the audience here saying Baltimore, I'm going to go with the audience. I'm going to say Baltimore week 1 against the Bills. Very close. Very, very close game. I got it no more than 3 points down to the wire. Probably the best game of week 1. Don't be shocked. I mean, I think a lot of games will be good, but the best game of week 1 will probably be Sunday night, NBC, Ravens versus Bills, first game of the season. I think that will be the first big game to actually deliver on the fireworks and deliver on the suspense of what football gives us, that drug that football gives us that makes us feel like we need to sit down and watch. Last game, good old faithful versus the Seahawks. Well, that's of course, it's going to be us. We're going to win. We're going to win. We're going to win. Probably like, well, where's your analyzation of that? Ain't none. We're going to win. I sound like a fan, don't I? I got to stop being a fan when I'm on the show. I'm not a fan. I'm a serious news journalist coming. I'm not a fan. I know what you're saying. You're looking at my hat. You're saying, I'm not a fan. Don't judge me by my hat. I'm not a fan.
Oh my God! Wow!
I'm not a fan. So what are we going to talk about else? So before we end, I do want to bring up some entertainment things and some college football. If anyone been looking at college football is interesting. Did you see the week 1? Holy moly, Alabama. Woo! Alabama. Man, the number ones fall hard, don't they? Lord, who had Florida State beating Alabama? I didn't. Like, I had Miami beating the Notre Dame Irish. I didn't have Alabama getting creamed like that. I thought it was Alabama. It was Alabama. The Crimson Tide. Roll Tide. No. You got chopped. So I do believe that we're seeing the NIL of college football start to take place. And when I say the NIL, the schools that really have the money, you're going to really see now. Like Texas. Speaking of Texas, whew. You know what? Let me just stop there real quick. I was gonna go somewhere else, but I'm gonna actually stop at Texas. Arch Manning. You know you got a lot of pressure on you when you put that last name on the back, and when you put that last name on the field, and not only you put that last name on the field, you don't look like you got that last name prepared. Or you don't look like that, like he didn't look prepared. I saw someone who looked unprepared. And I don't want to say it was him. I don't want to say it was Texas. But I should not be looking at an athlete playing quarterback. I should be looking at a quarterback play quarterback. And I think this Manning thing got a little bit out of control. First of all, his daddy wasn't a quarterback. His daddy was a receiver. His daddy used to catch balls from Peyton that used to throw the balls all the time. Peyton was the quarterback and Eli was the quarterback. Cooper was the receiver. Cooper could catch everything. He was an athlete. He was more athletic than Peyton and Eli. He was the athlete of the Mannings. And to see his son go to this school, and honestly, I see this school as more, to me, trying to win than develop. And do you really want to send your son to a school where he can't develop because they are too busy trying to win? Like, for an example, let's take a look at Steph Curry's dad, old Dale Curry. Dale Curry had two boys, okay? Steph and Steph. Steph, let me make sure I get my stuff right. Steph, when he went to college, he went to a small school. He went to Davidson College. The other, Seth, S-E-T-H, went to Duke. Now, you know what Duke is. You know what Duke is known for, and you know how Duke moves. Duke gets the best of the best of the best of the best. Yes, sir. Right? What does Davidson get? What do you know for Davidson? Nothing. Right? So when you go to Davidson, you're developing, because whatever success happens at Davidson is going to be at your hands. Whether we fail or whether we succeed, it will be in your hands. Davidson ain't seen success since Steph Curry, and they ain't seen success since he left. Because Davidson requires you to develop. Davidson requires you to understand the game to make everyone else better. Davidson cannot get you the All-American McDonald players. It's Davidson. They're going to tell us no. So when you send your boy to a school like Davidson, you are telling your boy, this is how you develop. You're going to develop or you won't. And you're going to have your fair chance to develop. And if you do, it will be able to transfer on to the next level, because you're doing things at this school that the younger boy, Seth, is never going to learn at Duke. Because at Duke, we got all Americans. We don't need you to carry the team. We need you to make sure this machine works. We don't need you to be the machine. We need you just to do your part in your little bracket and your sprocket, and everything else will work itself out, because we got all Americans everywhere. We have an All-American forward. We have an All-American center. We have an All-American small forward. We have an All-American. Pass the ball. We don't need you to do everything. But at Davidson, we need you to do everything. You got to do everything. You have to be the offense. You have to set the offense up. You have to learn where everyone has to be. You got to be certain places in case they get in trouble. You have to learn that trouble. Everything about that program is based on you and your understanding of basketball. To me, that's why a person like Seth can develop into Seth Curry. And Seth, even though he's a good player and was a good player and for the Mavericks, he's not quite his brother, because his brother took a different path. His brother took the path that a lot of people don't want to take. A lot of these kids don't want to take that path where the program doesn't have the resources to get you the best of the best of the best of the best. Yes, sir. Don't have that. All we got is what we got right here. And you got to make what we got right here work. That to me says a lot about Seth. To me, that's why he's one of my favorite players. Because to take that kind of a environment, when you have guys like me out there playing, and take me to a March Madness and help me see things I will never see once I graduate. Come on, man. That's remarkable. Remarkable. Shout out. So, Arch Manning, I hope you can figure it out. I'm hoping that the Mannings can figure out something at Texas, but you still got a year eligibility, young guy. If I was you, looking around trying to find a Davidson, not a bad idea right about now. Just saying. Last thing, you guys been watching this show called Peacemaker? Because my producer, Wesley, said that, I'm going to start by this. I need everyone to pay attention to me, because I'm not getting to the review of this show without you first listening to me right now. Do I have your eyes? Good. If you have kids, okay? If you have kids, and when I say kids, anyone of the age that you would never want them to see certain things is, I don't know, just certain things. Group of things. A group of things. If you don't want your kids to see things that have very hard to talk about outside of violence, so do your imagination. I'm not talking about violence. I know which one of you know is gratuitous violence. I'm not talking about gratuitous violence. I'm just going to say this. If you have kids, no to this show. No. If they're under 18, no. Matter of fact, there are going to be some 18-year-olds you might want to sit down and say, look, don't get too carried away, okay? I just don't. Peacemaker, though. Okay. Wesley, you kind of know this. You're a comic book fan. Comic books have tiers. Hero tiers, okay? You have your Spider-Man, your Superman. They're what we call rated G tier. General audience. It's Spider-Man. It's Superman. You ain't gonna get but so much out of these two characters, because these are like for general audience members. Then you go up to, let's say, PG characters. Your Iron Mans, which is technically a PG-13 character, but Marvel PG'd them down. So we'll PG them down. Marvel, Captain America, you know. I would say Marvel, Captain America, stuff like that. You know, things like that. Those are you. And then you have the rated R guys. And there are a lot of rated R guys in comic books. And what happens is the studios tamper these down so much that they put, excuse me, they put them into a PG-13 category. So you have a person like I said, Iron Man. Iron Man technically is a rated R character because he's a billionaire. He can kind of do what he wants. He's not Batman, but he likes being a playboy philanthropist. Let's just say that. That's what he likes. Okay. If you actually did him right in the MCU, would have rated R movies and not PG-13 movies. But because Marvel Studios say, no, we need to sell, we like to sell toys, we like to sell items, tamper this character down. So that's where we bring in Peacemaker and Deadpool. See, Deadpool and Peacemaker are the characters that you just can't tap down. The more you tap them down, the worse you make them. You gotta let them be them, and them being them means rated R. And oh my God, what did we just put on screen? And when you watch Peacemaker, I'm just telling you, the first episode of the season is going to have a scene, a lot of people, okay? It's a lot of people party. Let's just say that. It's a lot of people party. I never thought I would see that for a superhero movie, a superhero show, let alone anything else. But it kind of falls in line with the character. And so to me, when this stuff falls in line with the character, I'm okay with it, because if you read the books, the comics, you would see some of the same stuff in the comic books that you see now in front of you. So far, Peacemaker season 2, very good. They're talking about different dimensions, different kind of stuff like that. I think that's kind of interesting. That's kind of like my territory. So far, so good. But I do warn all the audience who will be sitting down, listening to this review, saying, wow, I might have to check that Peacemaker out. Check it out. Number one, I hope you don't have no kids around. If you do, put them up. Tell them to go to bed. We put on Spider-Man. Okay, you can put on Superman now. We got plenty of heroes for the kids. Okay? You get tired of the kid argument. There are plenty of heroes for the kids. Fantastic Four for the kids. Okay? Spider-Man, kids. The kids get everything. All right? Captain America, the kids. Enough for the kids. Time for the adults. We were the kids. We were the kids that brought these things to life. Now you're telling us we can't get our thing because the kids. No. Captain America, Superman, Spider-Man, kids. General audiences, have fun. My Deadpools, my Peacemakers, hopefully my Ghost Riders, Blade. There are certain characters I don't want to see PG-13. I'm sorry. I want rated R. And if you can't give me rated R, don't bring the character. The kids have enough. They don't need any more. All they do is get Ant-Man, kids. Ant-Man and Wasp, kids. All kids. The Infinity Saga, children could watch. It's a child saga. Even though, and Wesley, if you read the comments, you would know I'm not lying. The Infinity Saga in the comics is rated R. It is nowhere near anything you're supposed to be showing on TV. And that should let you know how they can nuke down everything from a rated R in the literature to PG-13 on film, because money does matter and we need to sell toys. So I do want to thank you all for sitting by and watching me for these last couple of minutes, these last couple of shows. Please like and subscribe. We appreciate the general feedback. We appreciate everything you guys have been giving us as far as feedback and anything that you would like to see the show do. I want to thank my guy Wesley for coming in. I want to thank my mom. I want to thank everybody for liking and subscribing the show and just tuning in. We'll see you in the next couple of weeks. Have a fun week 1. The NFL is officially back.